What's going on, Knights of X? First and foremost, Merry Christmas to everyone around the world that celebrates around this time of year. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of the community and the Knights of X. Thank you so much for an awesome 2025. Looking forward to a very good 2026. And I'm hoping everyone got what they wanted for this year by Santa. And hopefully CG gives us some goodies in 2026. So I thought for today, let's have a fun, different type of video where we talk about characters that I would love to see added to the game in 2026. We're going to do a top 20 list for characters I would love to be added, and I think for sure we're going to see some of these characters added to this list this year. We just have to see how CG is going to cook and see what they want to do for the different eras, but this is kind of like a personal favorite for me. I didn't want to make it too biased towards all KOTOR, because I'm a big KOTOR fan, guys. You guys know me. Those games are amazing. The Old Republic, KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2, the Expanded Universe stuff. Those are the greatest Star Wars stories ever told. I think it's so much fun. So we're going to get right into the list. It's a top 20, and we're going to start out with, I think, for sure, a fan favorite character that should be already in the game as a lifter unit for the Old Republic faction. So let's get right into it. Starting off the list at number 1 is Satele Shan from the Old Republic, and this character is awesome. If you guys pay attention to any of the cinematics for the Old Republic, they're some of the coolest Star Wars video, whatever you call it, ever to exist. She goes toe-to-toe with Malgus. She's an awesome, awesome character. She's actually related to Jedi Knight Revan and Bastila Shan. She's a descendant of those characters, so it would work really well with some cool synergy with the Old Republic, and I would love for this character to come to the game to be a Old Republic lifter unit, or a new leader for the Old Republic, or a lifter for Jedi Knight Revan to form a Old Republic Jedi team. That would be really awesome, so I could totally see Capital Games slotting her in as a sort of conquest lifter unit for the Old Republic faction. Build a whole new team for them. I feel like that's a faction that is highly neglected in this game, and this would be the perfect character to raise them to a certain power level, to make them usable in Kyber 1 or in Grand Arena in general, because, like, the only use that we have right now is Zalbar Omicron with Darth Revan in 3v3. Their 5v5 Omicron is okay, not very endgame, more of an early mid-game kind of Omicron. So this character coming to the game would be phenomenal, and I really look forward to it. Going to number 2, gonna have some fun with this one. Kreia. Kreia. If you guys don't know who Kreia is, she is a companion of yours immediately in KOTOR 2. One of the coolest characters in Star Wars, and spoiler warning, I don't know if you guys have ever played the game, so this is your spoiler warning check. Kreia, if you haven't obviously noticed, is Darth Traya. So, in the game, she's a neutral Jedi character. She could be a awesome, awesome addition to the game with a new faction of KOTOR 2 companions, or even a neutral character for a neutral faction. We don't know how that would work with CG. They kind of haven't released any neutral characters in a while, but I think Kreia for sure would be amazing. Capital Games has had no problem introducing different types of characters at different stages. Like, we have like 5 different Chewbacca's and stuff like that. So, might as well add Kreia. She's an awesome character in lore, a neutral character, turns into the eventual Darth Traya. She does start out as Darth Traya, gets cut off by the Force because of Sion and Nihilus, and then turns into this neutral character where she meets with you're going to see someone later in the list that I mentioned. She meets with this character, and then it's a whole back and forth between a, breach in the Force. Awesome addition to the game. I think it'd be really fun to see Kreia come in 2026. Next up, at number 3, going a little bit on the Old Republic KOTOR trend. It's not going to be the whole list, I promise you, but I would love to see Mandalore the Preserver as in Canderous, and this is another companion in KOTOR 2. Canderous is a character already in the game. He's a KOTOR 1 companion. If they could add a separate Mandalorian leader for a OG Mando team or something like that, I think Mandalore the Preserver, aka Canderous, would be an awesome new leader for the Mandalorian faction. Right now we have Bo-Katan Mandalore, who would be her own separate team, and we have Maul, who's also very flexible for a UFO team. He's an awesome character in lore, sick armor. The Mandalorian faction in general is just a very cool branch of Star Wars, so I think adding a new character in Mandalore would be awesome. And even if we don't bring in Canderous, if they wanted to go crazy, they could use Mandalore the Ultimate, I believe it's called, where Revan takes his mask and uses it. That's how Revan gets his mask. He defeats Mandalore the Ultimate, or Great. I forget what it's called. But that's how Revan gets his mask. So any form of new Mandalore, or Mandalore like in Canderous, would be really awesome to be added to the game and create a new Mandalorian team. I think that would be really, really cool. Going to number 4, and sticking on the Mandalorian train, I know that this is going to be a little bit iffy now because of how Season 3 ended of The Mandalorian, but Darksaber Mando is still a character I would love to see added to the game. Awesome character in Star Wars. The Darksaber really brings out some cool power with him. You see him struggle with it, so they can do some really interesting stuff with his kit. I know that they really gave Bo-Katan the epic confrontation for the whole Mandalorian series because she was given the Darksaber at the end, but practically, there's a new Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I would love to see a new version of Mando. Really awesome to see a Darksaber Mando. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I still think he's cool, even though he doesn't get to hang on to it. It would be awesome to get a Darksaber Mandalorian still added to the game. Now, number 5, changing on to a little bit of a different era of Star Wars. A new version of Mon Mothma from the Andor series. I think that would be really cool. I did finish Season 1 of Andor. I still have to finish Season 2, but I've heard nothing but great things. I think it would be awesome to have a new edition of Mon Mothma added to the team or added to the game, representing a new faction, possibly. Like we have Rebel fighters. It could be like Rebel something, where you could do a new set of rebels, or just create a separate rebel team in general for a new Mon Mothma. I think that'd be really fun, cool character, interesting, and I think it would be a great addition to Galaxy of Heroes. Now, this one's going to be a little iffy, but I think it would be cool. We have seen in the past that Capital Games has no problem adding characters that have less than 5 seconds of screen time, so why not add Jedi Leia to the game as a possible JML lifter unit? I think that would be really cool. Leia, in lore, is a Force-sensitive Jedi, was doing Jedi training. You know, that's in The Rise of Skywalker, that's a thing. So, JML has definitely seen a degree of going down and down and down. Is he a good Galactic Legend? Absolutely. Is he one of the best in the game? Not right now. So I think that JML is definitely in need of a lifter unit. Jedi Leia would be really cool for them to do. We'll have to see if that's something they would consider. Again, we got Darkside Rey, who is in the, I think, 7 seconds of screen time. Something like that. Ridiculously low. And we have a whole conquest character for her. It's lifting Kylo's team. So I think Jedi Leia would be a really cool lifter unit for JML. If they don't do that, I'm going to list another option later on. Now, we got to talk about Quinlan Vos, and very cool Jedi from the Clone Wars. I'm surprised we haven't had him in the game yet. He's an awesome Jedi that we see all, like, throughout Clone Wars. Sick power, green lightsaber, cool in lore. I'm really shocked we don't have him yet. This could be, like, a separate, like, lifter unit for, like, a Qui-Gon Jinn team, or possibly even, like, a Keller and Beck, or even a new leader for the Jedi, like a Clone Wars era Jedi. I think that would be really cool. He's an awesome character, and I'm really, really surprised we don't have him yet. I think for sure he will be added to the game at one point, but maybe 2026, we're going to have to see. Now, going back to Old Republic and KOTOR, Mitra Surik, who is the main character in KOTOR 2, the Jedi Exile, the one that defeats Darth Nihilus because she's a breach in the Force. I think adding her to the game would be amazing. She's actually a very popular character in Star Wars, a fan favorite, if I'm not mistaken. I love her. She's very awesome. I think that if they add Mitra Surik to the game, she could be a new leader for the KOTOR 2 companions, such as like One and Ren, or like characters we listed earlier, like Kreia. They could do something interesting like that. So I think Mitra Surik as a new leader for like a Old Republic faction, or an Old Republic team, would be really, really cool. Or even you can have, like, Satele Shan with Mitra Surik. They could do some weird synergy like that, even though I don't think they ever interacted. I'm not sure. But it would be really awesome to have the Jedi Exile come into the game. One of my favorite characters in Star Wars. The name of my ult account comes from the Jedi Exile. My ult account is Exile Vex. That's a direct call out from the Jedi Exile, Mitra Surik. I think that'd be a really cool addition to this game. Number 9. I don't know if this is controversial, but I think this would be really cool to add a secondary First Order team that's just as powerful as possibly Kylo, or like a notch below in certain game modes like Grand Arena. Supreme Leader Snoke. We know his deal, we know what he is in lore and stuff like that, but he's still an interesting character that does have a high degree of power. If they brought Snoke to the game, it could form a secondary First Order team that could be really cool for like Grand Arena or TW. Just give those leftover First Order teams a possible different team, like utilization. Maybe bring in General Pride or something like that. He's more of a Sith Eternal kind of like synergy. But Snoke, I think Snoke should come to the game at one point. They have no problem making up kits for characters that barely have screen time. He does a little bit of Force Lightning. He does, you know, the mind reading stuff. So They could do some interesting things with Snoke. Hopefully one day he comes. 2026 would be awesome. Now, this one, I think for sure this is going to happen sooner than later. Bib Fortuna. And I think that it's so crazy. Jabba used to be one of the best defensive GLs in the game. He still is pretty annoying under certain metas, but he might be in line for a lifter unit. And who other is better than for Jabba lifter than Bib Fortuna? One of his aides during the movies. And he eventually becomes a head of a Hug cartel of the crime syndicate until Boba Fett takes him out. But Bib Fortuna could be an absolute lifter unit for Jabba. I think that'd be really fun for them to do. It could be a potential conquest lifter or something like that. But let me know what you guys think down below about Jabba. Do you think Jabba needs a lifter unit? If they were to add one, I think Bib Fortuna is a for sure character that would be very good with him. And we're slowly going down the path of Jabba needing it because he's getting countered by a lot of teams on defense just lately. So maybe. Moving on, Galen Erso. And I think Galen Erso is an awesome character. The designer of the Death Star, but also helped out the Rebels in destroying it. It would be really cool to have a different type of synergy with him. They could do some really crazy stuff. So they can make him light side, they can make him dark side, or even neutral. Very cool character. I think he's an awesome actor as well. But Galen Erso, very popular in Rogue One. They could do some really cool stuff with him and his kit. I would really figure out and wonder what they would do with him, because I don't know if you consider him light or dark side. He's more light side in my opinion, but he did help build the Death Star, so you never know. I think he's an interesting character, and I would love for him to be in the game. Now, I'm kind of botching them together, but the Knights of Ren. I think the Knights of Ren definitely could make it to the game. Obviously, they don't have a lot of screen time, but like I mentioned early in the video, we have a lot of characters that barely have screen time in this game. We have freaking Quiggold. We have Ethano. Like, they're barely in Star Wars, and they have crazy kits. Why not add the Knights of Ren as an era? Add the Knights of Ren. Maybe, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren can work with them, or they add a new version of Kylo or something like that, but Knights of Ren, I think they deserve to be in the game. I kind of named my membership after them, the Knights of Vex. So, Knights of Ren would be a very cool addition. Maybe we see them in 2026. They are former Jedi, I believe, if we look at a lore perspective, but still pretty cool. Not the, most powerful characters. Apparently, they're pretty strong, but Ben Solo kind of wipes the floor with them, but they would be cool to be added to the game. 13. Now, this is what's going to pair in with Jedi Leia. Light side Mara Jade. I think if they're going to add a lifter unit for JML, it's going to be either Jedi Leia or light side Mara Jade. I think that'd be really cool. So in the comics, they were apparently a couple or something like that. There's something going on with Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker, so would be a pretty interesting lifter unit for him. I think they can make it work. I don't know if they would make it a conquest character. They probably would make it a conquest character, but I think a lifter unit for JML with Mara Jade would be a really awesome addition, because he's definitely on the verge, or not even on the verge. He definitely needs a lifter unit. It's time. He's still strong, but he really could use the help later on in the game. So Mara Jade, light side lifter unit, that'd be awesome for JML. Now, number 14, going a little bit different with the older Force Unleashed games, Proxy. I think Proxy is a very cool character, which Capital Games can do so many crazy things with. Like, if you guys haven't played those games, he turns into different simulations of former opponents or powerful heroes of the past. So, in the Force Unleashed games, you face Darth Maul, you face him as Kenobi. There are so many different options that they could do with his kit. He could do something like where he has an ability where he literally steals the opponent. He transforms into the opponent on the enemy team, steals their turn and their ability or something like that, and he can use all of their kit and steal it. I think that this, for a kit perspective, has so much potential. It would be really cool to see what they could do with it. Hopefully Proxy can come to the game at one point. 2026 would be awesome. So, just for a kit perspective, they have a lot of leeway. 15. Now, I know how we feel about the Acolyte. Wasn't my favorite show at all, but we did just get Chimere, and he's coming out in a couple of weeks. Soul is kind of like the counterpart of Chimere and the Stranger. He's very, very strong Jedi. He does end up biting the dust at the end of the show. Spoiler warning, but he's still a cool character. He's by far not the worst thing about the Acolyte. I can tell you that. There's a lot worse things. So, I think if you look at the positives of the Acolyte, Jedi Master Soul is pretty cool. I think Chimere is definitely the best thing to come out of the Acolyte, and he's already in the game. So, let's counteract that with bringing in Soul and maybe do some High Republic synergy or something like that. And you'll see that later on. So we'll have to see. Next up, Jedi Dooku. And this is from the Tales of the Jedi, I believe, the animated show. Dooku is a fan favorite character. I love him. Darth Tyrannus. I mean, he is a badass. And Jedi Dooku would be an awesome, awesome addition to the game. Surprised we didn't get it last year. I think for sure, no matter, when this game ever does end off, we're going to get a Jedi Dooku. I would love to see him in the game as well. Maybe representing a different type of Jedi faction or a different team. I think he's an awesome character in lore, and you can't go wrong with him. I think that would be awesome for the game. Next up, 17, Cassian, but a new version of Cassian, the one from the show. So, obviously we have already in-game Cassian, and he's pretty good with the Rogue One team. He's got some good, heal immunity and stuff like that, but with how much emphasis they put on Cassian in the show, they have 2 seasons of him in a show, he kind of deserves a little bit more recognition in the game, and to be a lot more powerful of a character. So, I do think a new version of Cassian Amon Mothma would be awesome. 2 seasons of Andor. A phenomenal second season, a ton of awards, nothing but praises about it. I still have to watch it, but I think Cassian does deserve a new model or a new character. I think that'd be really cool for him. Now, changing it up even more, going for Jedi Survivor content, Bode, and he's pretty cool, because if you guys don't know his lore like that, he's a companion of yours in Jedi Survivor, and you get blindsided at one point, and he ends up being a remnant Jedi that survives Order 66, and he betrays you at one point, and he's very powerful. He's the final boss of the game, so I think he would be an awesome addition for possibly a, unaligned Force user, or maybe a new dark side team, like a Dark Jedi team. You never know. I guess it would be considered a dark side unaligned Force user, so they could create so much with that faction. He would be an awesome addition, and maybe we see him in 2026. Now, awesome character also from the Jedi Survivor game, Dagan Gera, and now I think at one point we're absolutely going to see it, because the Disney is putting in a ton into the High Republic. Dagan Gera can very well be a High Republic Dark Jedi, or whatever you call it, a dark side High Republic character. So at one point you're going to see High Republic content. It's going to happen. There's a ton of books. There are video games based off the High Republic coming out. I'm pretty sure Eclipse is High Republic. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure there are High Republic stuff coming out. Jedi Survivor had High Republic, so Dagan Gera would be an awesome addition. He's pretty cool. He does have his, one missing arm. They could do some interesting stuff with his kit. I think it would be an awesome character to add to the game. Now, to wrap it up, the final character that I would love added to the game in 2026, and none of you guys are going to be surprised about this. This is probably one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. It's going to be a Galactic Legend, and it's going to be Galactic Legend Revan Reborn. I think this is what everyone is waiting for. A majority of my community said that Revan Reborn would be the coolest character they could add to the game as a Galactic Legend. Who's cooler than Darth Revan? Look at my background. I have a Darth Revan freaking scroll. Revan Reborn would be sick. He's got the 2 different lightsabers. So powerful. Awesome. They could do so many different things with his, like a faction with neutral, or dark side, or light side. He has synergy with both light and dark. That would be really cool. So you can mix and match his teams. So you can figure out, okay, I want to put him with a light side synergy or a dark side synergy. They could do some really cool things with his kit. He's in the Old Republic, a fan favorite character in Star Wars, and very, very highly needed and deserving of Galactic Legend status. So if Pirate King Hano was a Galactic Legend, Revan should be a whole notch above him. So I think that would be really cool, guys. That is my top 20 list for 2026. Please, please, please let me know down below what you agree with, what you don't agree with, what characters you want to see, and do you think that any of these characters will actually come to the game in 2026, or even in general. So hopefully you guys enjoy Christmas. You can watch this on your commute to your whatever house you're going to, if you guys catch it later on. Just a fun video for today. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope everyone's having an awesome, awesome end of 2025 and a happy holiday. So don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel to support your boy Vex. And I'll see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you all.